What a day. When I was out there going live at 5:30, I actually saw two of the suspects myself walking down Cordova Highway right by a cornfield. Now, a deputy told me those two people were two teens who escaped from a drug treatment center in Minnesota. Then the search was on for a Native American male and female. And tonight, all four people are in custody, but they spent much of the day on the run. In Seward County, law enforcement searched cornfields north of Cordova. A state patrol chopper hovered above. One officer even stood high on a grain bin, keeping a close eye on the fields down below, while other officers parked along intersections, watching from all directions. And one man who lives nearby had his 9mm ready at his side to protect himself and his family.
We're pretty well protected around here, so. And
just down the road for Jim Woolsey, who also lives in the area, it was quite the day for him.
Funny things happen in different ways. You were here, and the next thing I seen these two people walking on the road when I was getting ready to do chores.
Two of the suspects, a young man and a 15-year-old girl, went right up to him and started talking to him at his home.
So then they wanted to know the closest town, so I said Cordova, and then that's when 911 called me back again because I had to hang up on them when I was talking to them behind the garage.
So they wouldn't know.
So they wouldn't know what was going on.
Later they moved on, and our camera caught them walking by a cornfield. Soon after, they were caught.
I got out of the car and told them to stop where they were at or I'd release my canine. Both of them stopped, and then I had them lay down on the ground and I handcuffed them.
Woolsey just couldn't believe what started out as a quiet Sunday ended up with this scene playing out in his front yard.
Yeah, very, very exciting. I just kind of need to wind down a little bit.
That's for sure. Now, there's more here. The Seward County Sheriff's Office plans to release more information on what happened tomorrow morning, but they wanted to thank all the agencies that helped in today's search. We noticed something a little peculiar on social media. Blue flamingos, dozens of them, turning up in yards just northwest of Lincoln. So what's behind the blue migration? We went to Malcolm to find out. In Malcolm, there aren't too many ball fields for young athletes to play on. In fact, space is very limited.
We have 190 players and 14 teams that play on this one field.
And with few options, it can be a little challenging, to say the least, for the Malcolm softball team.
Obviously, you can see the pitching mound that kind of gets in the way of things.
So now the effort is underway to find all the kids in the community more space to play on. And you might say they're flocking to the idea.
All right, guys, let's do it.
These young ladies are going around town sticking flamingos, no, not real ones, in people's yards. The goal, drum up publicity for a brand new fund drive. It's going to take a lot of cash to buy land and build new fields.
We have a lot of ideas, but we just want to get the fundraising started so that when we do get the beginning stages of our fundraising done, we can make the plans of what we want to do.
To get rid of the long-necked birds, those who get flocked have to pay up.
And then you pay a little bit more to have them moved to a house of your choice.
Eventually, if they're successful, the hope is one day kids now growing up in Malcolm will have more space to play on and a brand new complex.
Things that we're doing now are going to affect them later on, and it will be better for them even if we don't get to use it ourselves.
Some great young people out there in Malcolm. Now, if you'd like to help the kids in Malcolm get a little closer to their goals, you can find a link to their website in this story on 1011now.com. Well, nearly 700 people in Lincoln are homeless. More than 31% of those people are kids and young adults under the age of 24, and those numbers are not going down. That's where the Cedars Drop-In Center comes in. Today I had the opportunity to take a tour of this brand new facility. 19-year-old Elriana Jennings has lived on the streets, and she knows just how tough it can be.
I've lived on people's couches, I've slept on the floor, I've kind of just lived wherever I could just to stay warm. It's hard. And
just by chance, we ran into Elriana outside the new Cedars Youth Opportunity Center at 318 South 13th Street in Lincoln, across the street from the Cornhusker Hotel. It's soon to open, designed to give young people in crisis a place to just drop in, talk to someone, get some help. She wasn't even aware of it yet until we told her about it.
It's kind of hard to be a kid and be on the streets and really have no opportunity, have no one to talk to. So I like the things that Cedars does in general.
On this day, inside an open house going on, Christina Lloyd, who does outreach for Cedars, helps young people on the streets get off the streets. And she gave us a tour of the new facility.
And just over here, we got a place for them to relax, watch a little bit of TV.
There are also computers to work on, places to sit, plenty to eat, and even inspirational signs on the walls.
I'm thrilled. I'm so excited. This has been something I've been looking forward to for a while.
Downstairs, diapers, toiletries, coats, food items, basic stuff to survive, even bikes to get around. Right now, these seats are empty, but when the Cedars Youth Opportunity Center opens February 1st, they expect to serve literally hundreds of young people throughout the year. Jim Blue is the CEO of Cedars. Before this new drop-in center was here, it was a salon, but then Cedars got their opportunity and moved in.
Well, the number of runaway and homeless youth varies. We believe it is growing. They're very hard to count, though, but it's growing.
And for young people, people like Elriana, it'll help them, at the very least, get a meal, or perhaps even change the course of a life.
I kind of made my situation what it is, but I'm trying to better myself every day.
And by the way, if you'd like to donate to Cedars, they could really use diapers and laundry pods. They open February 1st, 5 days a week. You can go to our website for more details. Welcome back. The Blue Angels are in town preparing for the big air show this weekend, being hosted by the Nebraska National Guard. Now, we caught up with the Blue Angels in Memphis. Make that over, Memphis. Well, right now I'm standing on a KC-135, just like the one behind me. Here's what's going to happen today. Two are going to fly down to Memphis, Tennessee, rendezvous with the Blue Angels, the F-18s. Essentially, we'll be serving as a gas station in the air, if you will. We'll be refueling those jets, and then we'll fly back to Lincoln, and anyone living in the capital city will be able to look up and see that amazing sight flying on in. My job, simply sit back and enjoy the show. About halfway into the 2-hour flight, when we finally met up, I looked through the window, and there was one right there on our wing, a Blue Angel, like a friendly neighbor stopping in just to say hello.
This is going to be fairly vanilla. As you can see, the weather's really nice.
And then soon after, we were refueling the F-18s in midair. We took this video right from the boom pod. It's a job requiring teamwork, precision, and plenty of confidence. In the cockpit, I spoke to the pilots of the KC-135.
The biggest challenge is when things don't go as planned, you have to start making up things to make it happen. That would be probably the biggest challenge. You know, whether the guys are late, we're early, they need more gas, or you could think of a number of things going on in your daily life that, you know, you're planning on something happening, it doesn't happen the way you think it's going to go, and you go, well, I got to make all this work.
After the refueling, the Blue Angels were kind enough to pose for this amazing photo, all of them right there doing what they do so well and making it look so easy. And when we finally arrived back in Lincoln, they made sure their entrance was one to remember. And amazing with a capital A. Now, the Big Air Show is this weekend at the Lincoln Airport. I'd like to thank the whole crew for letting us on that big aircraft. They were professional, respectful, and very helpful, so thanks again.